Thanks for joining us here on Capitol Tonight. I'm Dr. Nicole Cross. A heated debate just wrapped up in one of the most competitive intra-party battles in Texas, the Republican race for Attorney General. Tonight, we'll bring you more in-depth coverage and analysis of that back and forth. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half of that debate.
Unfortunately, in this campaign, it's gotten negative from one of the candidates that's here tonight, Eva Guzman. She's run a multi-million-dollar attack maligning my character, impeaching my track record, and of course going after my wife. Eva Guzman, you've crossed a line.
He said that I am not for finishing the wall, and he knows. He's been at every campaign speech, and he knows that that's been part of my plan. There is no room in Texas for another lying attorney general.
Why Paxton is not here, why he hadn't come to any of our events, it's because he is under indictment for fraud. The motion to dismiss was denied. He's pending trial. He's been arrested. He's out on bond. And he has been under investigation by the FBI. And he's likely going to be indicted after the primary when we can't replace him. Look, anything he says at a debate can and would be used against him.
Why should Texas Republicans go against Trump's choice in this race?
To answer your question, if Ken Paxton is nominated again, we lose to the Democrats.
And as far as police officers, no one knows how to stand up for law enforcement the way I do. I am married to a law enforcement police officer. I watch my husband put on his uniform every single day, and he went out and he protected Houstonians, and I worried whether he would come home that day.
This question is for Congressman Gohmert. Congressman Gohmert, you've said Democrats are, quote, licking their chops at running against General Paxton in November. But given your own history of controversial statements and ties to what happened on January 6th, why wouldn't they also be licking their chops at running against you?
Look, when it comes to January 6th, I utilize the tools, the lawful tools that were created to handle disputes. I'd gone to court, and I was on the House floor arguing, doing exactly what 11 of the Democrats had done in the prior election. I was objecting. I used the tools at hand, and if anybody wants to look back at comments, they'll find that I repeatedly say we've got to follow the example of Dr. King, peaceful protests, and anybody that says otherwise is lying.
She wanted to talk policy, so I'm just pointing out that what she put out in a multi-million-dollar mailer is calling my border plan a photo op, and she called it a ploy. If it means building a wall, taking the fight to drug cartels and to human traffickers, designating them as terrorist organizations as a ploy, then she's just another drive-by critic. We need people in the arena that are actually building wall, doing things to secure our border, because Texas families have had enough of it.
Though. He also doesn't know how to manage lawsuits. He spent $200,000 in attorney's fees when he tried to reimagine the Alamo, and the Daughters of the American Republic sued because he so trespassed on the most sacred of institutions.
Next question. It's about border security, and all of you are campaigning on border security. But how would you leverage the powers of the Attorney General's office to address this issue in a way that Attorney General Paxton has not?
Thank you, Gohmert. Great question, because we are so restricted by what the Supreme Court said in the Arizona case, that state and local law enforcement could not enforce immigration laws. So it is great, important for the federal government to build a wall, but when it comes to the state, once they're on state soil, they're an immigrant, legally or illegally, and we, according to the Supreme Court, cannot enforce the law. So what we need to do, and we're authorized under Article 4, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution, when the federal government does not prevent invasion of our state, we have every right to prevent the invasion. That means what we need to do with the troopers and the National Guard on our border is stop the invasion, repel the invasion. In 1916, it was Pancho Villa came across in New Mexico, killed 18 to 25 people, and that was an invasion. They sent tens of thousands of military down to chase him. Look, we don't have to chase into North Mexico. We just have to repel the invasion, and we'll go to court, but we'll put those people on and defend them for repelling the invasion on our border.
Thank you, Congressman. Commissioner Bush.
I agree with Congressman Gohmert that we need to assert our sovereignty under Article 4, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution, as Mark Brnovich, the Attorney General in Arizona, has asserted in a recent advisory opinion. I'm the only candidate proposing a mobile prosecution unit to forward deploy all available legal resources with the same level of urgency and emergency that the governor has called for DPS for Operation Lone Star. If the federal government's not going to do their job, Texas, in a Texan way, will have to step forward and do it, and my agency will be there with the governor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Congressman, to close.
Yeah, the thing is, we're not going to be allowed to have a task force to do anything with immigrants once they're in Texas. Then it goes to the federal government. Our key and our legal position, our constitutional position is you don't let them come into Texas. You repel the invasion. They're killing tens of thousands of Americans with drugs coming across. It is an invasion, and it's got to stop.
Of course, Democrats are hosting a crowded primary field of their own. Candidates include former Galveston Mayor Joe Jaworski, Harris County Judge Mike Fields, nationally known civil rights attorney Lee Merritt, and former ACLU lawyer Rochelle Garza. Later in the show, we'll be highlighting some of the conversations we've had with those candidates over the past few weeks. Stick around to hear what they have to say about issues like voting access, immigration, and mask mandates in Texas. Plus, as you head to the polls, make sure you also check out your personalized voter guide on the Spectrum News app. We have all of the tools and information you need to stay informed about the candidates, the issues, and how and where to vote in your community. You can download the Spectrum News app in the App Store or on Google Play. And coming up, we're bringing you more debate analysis from both sides of the aisle. Stay with us.